Folks, we're back. Now we have our functional image gallery, but there's a couple things we need to do with it. One of the things is you'll notice I don't have any status indication for my links. When I click them, of course we can tell that's Big Ben and that's a rose and fireworks, but sometimes there's not quite as obvious a correlation between the name of the link and the picture. So using status indication is always a good thing. We want to make sure that the one that we click on shows that it's been selected and that there's a clear, distinct connection between the anchor and the image. So changing status indication, we'll have to add that. Another thing is, in our code, you can see we have a bunch of stuff going on right here inside this links on click. We really want to clean that up a little bit. One of the things that we want to learn during this course is how to write code that's reusable. Right now, the code that's on this onClick, this function right here, is locked up. It only works when I click on one of those links. But it's a pretty handy piece of code. What it does is it's used to change a picture or a slide. I might want to do that in some other way. I might not want to just click on these. There might be some other method or some manner of where the slide moves and changes automatically. In that case, I don't want to reinvent the wheel here. I want to reuse this code. In order to do that, I need to store it in a named function that I can then use later. Watch how I do this. I'm going to take all this code out of here. Cut it. And then right below here, I'm going to create a function, if JSFiddle will let me do it. I'm going to paste it here. So this function is going to be out, kind of a separate cousin to this init function. The name of this function will be, we'll make it do what it does, change pick. Okay, great. And let's clean this up a little bit, make it more like our other code. Okay, good. So now we have this function, change pic, which is used to change pictures. Now, up here, instead of putting all that code here, I can just put the word change pic up here, like that. Now, what this is going to do is, this is a property. OnClick is an event handler. Each link has a property called an event handler. And the event handler is a function or some code that is run when the link is clicked. Here, what I'm doing is assigning the onClick handler to contain this function, the whole function, change pic. So this is not a function call. If I did this, it would run the function. I don't want it to happen. I just want to store this whole function inside this property of each link. Okay. Now, whenever you do this, whenever you connect an existing function to an event handler, the browser by default will automatically pass an argument or parameter to this function. And what it passes is this event object. Right? Notice how this is put in here. What that contains is information related to the event that occurred, in this case a click. It lets me know what was clicked on, where it was clicked on, and what my mouse did after it clicked on it. All kinds of good information that we can use to create an interface that's interactive. And that's where this comes in. This event prevent default stops the link from believing that it was clicked. This right here, event target, that tells me the target is the link or the object that was clicked on. Okay, good. So now if we run this, it should still work. Great. Everything's still functional. Now this makes this init function a little bit smaller and easier to debug, right? Functions that are small and do one specific thing are easier to fix than functions that are large and do many things. So we want to adhere to that principle in this class. Now, having done this, we have this one function change pick. Now we need to create another function that's used to set the status indicator. Let's create that. We'll call it set status. And like the other one, we'll have it pass the event object. Good. Now, we're going to have to do something similar here. Each time I click on a link, I want JavaScript to go through this navigation and turn them all off. Make all of them not highlighted. That's the first step. You might say, well, why do that? Why can't I just turn one on? The reason is if I turn one on and then click another, the previous one will stay on, and then I'll have two links that are on. I'll show you as we build this. So first things first, set status. You want to get access to all of these links, and we can do that in the same way that we did up here. Okay, so this gets me all the links, and I'm going to loop through each one of them, but I don't want to click on them. What I want to do is change their style. I want to change it so that they're all blue. Let's do that. Okay, so that's what this set status is. Now, over here on my onClick, I'm just going to temporarily change this to set status. Let's test this out. Okay, now as you saw, it changed the links to blue, but then navigated because my prevent default is not in my other function. So let's copy this. Okay, so clicking on that now changes them all to blue. That's only half of the equation. The other part now is we want to change the one we clicked on to red. So here, I'll change that one that I clicked on. So I'll say evt.target dot style dot color is equal to red. Okay, so now the link should turn red.